Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is part of my unconventional craft challenge. I am so excited about this. I love this challenge. So let's not waste any more time. I'll tell you more about it later. Let's get started. DIY number 1. For this project, I am starting off with this platter. It was from shrimps and I decided to save it because I really liked the shape. So that's what's going to be my base. Then I'm taking this cardboard from cereal and I will trace the inner part of it and cut it out. After that, I'm taking this Waverly chalk paint in a color ivory and I will give it pretty good coat. I wanted everything to be covered. After everything is nice and dry, I will go ahead and hot glue that to the bottom of my platter. Okay, now that this is covered, I'm taking this white cotton twine from Dollar Tree, yes, and I will just run it along the edges where actually the cardboard meets with the platter, just to make it look more nice and finished. Now I'm taking this sign from the Dollar General truck sign, and I'm taking all these colors to galvanize it. I actually wanted to make it a little bit more dark galvanized, and I wanted to add some rusty effect to some parts of the truck to pop out a little or stand out a little bit more in contrast to that ivory color of the cardboard. Now that it's done, this is how it looks like. I'm super happy with it. Okay, next I'm gonna add some pieces of craft stick. I actually cut them out in few little pieces, and I will actually stack two together. I wanted actually to make that height so this truck stands out a little bit and give that 3D effect. I will hot glue that onto this platter, and that part is done for now. Okay, after that I will go ahead and get this smaller wicker wreath from the Dollar Tree, and I will just put it in. It actually fits perfectly around this platter, and I will just add hot glue wherever it's needed, wherever the wreath meets the platter. Now it's a plastic, so I was very careful not to get burned. Okay, after that I'm adding a little bit of greenery on the top, and then that white and red twine that actually came with this ornament, I'm going to create a small bow, and I'm going to put it right in the middle on that greenery. And then I'm going to add 3 mini pine cones on the bottom. And that actually, I didn't want to add anything else. I thought it looked great, but I knew it needed a little bit of color because everything was kind of very neutral. Okay, I flipped it over and added a little bit of jute twine just to be able to hang it if I want to. And added popsicle sticks across just to make it more secure, and that's it for this project. I love it. I think it's super cute. I'm so excited for this Christmas season because I have so many ideas, and my husband couldn't believe that I actually saved this platter and used it to create some decor. But this just shows you that you should definitely save some things and look recycling things in a different way. Tell me what you think about this one. As I said, this video is part of my unconventional materials craft challenge. I am very excited about this challenge. I always loved using things that are not intended for crafting to do my crafts, and this is a perfect way actually to do it. My co-host for this month is Miguel over at Miguelito's DIY. If you don't know who he is up and coming YouTuber, and he has a wonderful ideas, great designs. They're all very simple, on a budget, but high-end looking. So I'm going to have his channel linked in the description box. Make sure to go ahead and check it out. These are the rules if you want to check them out. Maybe you want to join next time. I will have a playlist in the description box, a playlist link, so you can click on it and see who else participated in this challenge and what they created. This is a fairly new challenge. This is my second time, so I don't know if there's going to be many creators, but I'm sure hoping it's going to pick up and we're going to give you some more motivation and more ideas. Okay, DIY number 2. I'm taking these Hot Wheel tracks from the Dollar Tree. I'm cutting one up. I don't even know how large. I just went by looking what it looks right for me. And I cut out 2 pieces, one smaller, one larger. And then the one that is smaller, I mark and actually cut out with X-Acto knife slits. So it looks like this. So the top part can actually fit perfectly and I can glue it. So you see over here, I'm already, you already can see that I'm creating a cross. So now that everything is nice and secured, I'm going to go ahead and get a gray chalk paint by Martha Stewart. Oh, before that, I'm going to just cut out this top. Okay, so now let's go back to the chalk paint. I'm going to paint this 2 times, actually. I wanted this to be completely painted. And when it was dried, I'm taking my Rust-Oleum chalk paint in a linen white color and a chippy brush from the Dollar Tree, and I am distressing it. I wanted this to be distressed. Now, this is totally optional. You can, of course, use any color that you want. Alrighty, now I am writing a verse. And again, this is optional. You can leave it as it is. You can write any verse you want. I choose to do this one. You will see in just a second which one it is. And then I actually use the pencil, and then I'm going to use this marker to trace it. And again, you can use your Cricut or you can use stencils to use this. I just freehanded. And then after that, I decided to go ahead and put 2 little greenery picks on top and then 1 mini pine cones. I wanted everything to flow together, all my projects, so I'm sticking with the same theme. After that, I'm taking the same white cotton twine. I double it up, push it through that hole. I tie a knot very close to keep it in place. And then I also tie a knot on the top and cut off the excess, and this is how it looks like. After this, my project is complete. I love this. I really do. I always love to incorporate Jesus into the Christmas and Easter projects because, as we know, Jesus is the reason for the season, and I always like to add it. But generally, I really like how this turned out, and I cannot believe this was the Hot Wheels tracks to start with. Again, I want to show you with all these videos that you can go ahead and look at certain things with different eyes and create something with the supplies that are not intended for crafting. Again, I would like to hear what you think about this project. For all of you that are new to my channel, welcome. I'm Jelena. I always loved crafting and doing DIY projects, and everything has to be on a budget. That's just me. And I do mostly rustic and farmhouse style. I do experiment sometimes with the modern style as well. Hopefully you like something like that. And if you do, I would like for you to consider joining my channel. Give a thumbs up to my videos. It means so much to me, and get my channel promoted by YouTube. Also, when you subscribe, don't forget to click on notification bell on so you don't miss any of my future videos. Alrighty, we're ready to go and start DIY number 3. For this project, I am going to be using these containers from the tea. I saved them and 1 lid of them. So first I'm going to go ahead and I will take off the wrapping around it. And after that, I will hot glue 2 together on their, like I'm showing over here. So the bottoms of these containers will meet. After that, I will also add a little bit of hot glue right there in the middle to secure it. Then I'm hot gluing this lid upside down on the top of this. So this is what I was left with. After that, I will go ahead and get my Rust-Oleum chalk paint in a linen white color and give 3 good coats. I wanted it to be completely covered. Then I'm taking this gray chalk paint by Martha Stewart and I'm painting the inside of the lid, so the top I wanted this to be a little bit different color because everything will be white, and I wanted it to have kind of a color block. After that, I'm using these two. One is antique wax, and the other one is this wood tint in a color gray. And I will just take the chippy brush and I will distress this candle holder. That's what's going to be at the end. I wanted this to have that distress look, almost like a wood grain look. Now, I went a little bit heavier to begin with, and then I, on some spots, went over with the white chalk paint, also distressing it until I achieved the level of distress that I was happy with. When everything was done and dry, I'm going to go on to the next step, and that is to add this jute twine right in the middle where I put the hot glue and hot glue these two together. I actually wrapped it 2 times, adding a hot glue wherever it's needed. And then after I was done with that, I will also do the same thing on the bottom of this candle holder and right on the top where the lid meets the top part of the container. So you will see in just a second. So I wanted to make it kind of consistent and add that little detail just to make it more, you know, nice and give it some texture. Okay, now that I'm done with that, you see how it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of greenery right in the middle, and then I will add a pine cone. Actually, I might add it 2. Yes, I remember I added 2. Again, I wanted all my projects from today to kind of flow together and represent Christmas projects, but they can also, a lot of them can also be used any time of the year. So this is how the candle holder looks like. I really like the simplicity of it, and I like the color. And I cannot believe that instead of throwing this recycling material, I used it. Now, of course, I would not burn this candle because this is a plastic candle holder. You can certainly use any LED candle that you have, or just keep it like this for decorative purposes. Or you can put something else. It doesn't have to be candle holder. It can be a little decorative plant holder. But I really like it. And as always, I would like to hear, what do you guys think? A little reminder, if you're on social media, come join me. I would love to get to know you. I'm on Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook. And my regular upload times are Tuesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, onto the DIY number 4. Now I'm using these 2 plastic cups from the Dollar Tree. And I will use these 2 lids from, I believe it was a drink water bottle or something like that. So after that, I'm using my hot glue gun to pierce a hole in the middle on the top of this plastic cup. And I will do the same thing through these lids. I was just patient and waiting until it melts. And after that, I'm taking a mini bead. I will put it right in the middle of the inside of this lid. I wanted the hole that I created and a hole of the bead to align. And then after that, I will add a hot glue and I will attach it on top of this plastic cup. Again, making sure that all the holes align because I'm going to need to use them later. I'm going to do that to the both of these. And after that, I will take my Waverly chalk paint in a color ivory, and I will give this 2 good coats. I wanted it to be covered. Now I use that technique where I use a heat gun and to make it kind of a crackle effect. It made a little bit, but I was very careful not to melt this. And you will see over here in just a minute, I actually did hold it a little bit longer on one of them and made a little indentation. It melted a little bit, but I don't mind because it makes it more rustic and used up. Now I'm taking these 2 colors, which is Antique Wax by Waverly, and the other one is that bronze color, and a chippy brush, and I will just go ahead and start distressing these bells. That's what I'm creating. I'm creating bells. First, I'm starting with the bottom portion distressing the rim, and then everything else. Again, I went a little bit heavier, and then I went back with the ivory, just, touching up wherever I think it should look good. Adding the bronze as well. I went back and forth until I was happy with the color, actually distressing, that I achieved, and this is how it looks like. I wanted it to look very, very rustic and used. Now I have these two bells. I'm going to use also jute twine, and then I will use these beads, 2 large and 2 small ones. First, I'm piping my twine through the bell, tying a knot, and then I'm taking one of the ends of the jute twine, and I will pipe it through the bottom all the way through the holes on the top of this bell, and then I will gonna tie a knot. After that, adding a large and then smaller bead, tying a knot again with the loop, creating a loop, tying a knot and wrapping the rest around, and adding a little bit of hot glue to secure it. So that's how I created kind of that bell hanging portion. And after that, I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the second one. And that's going to be pretty much it, guys. This was super simple to make, and all of them are made from either recycling materials or something that was definitely not intended for crafting. And I love them. I think they're so cute, so darling. They can be used in a wreath or by itself. You can use any cups that you have. It doesn't have to be these from the Dollar Tree. You can recycle the cups from maybe yogurt or something like that. There's so many options, but I absolutely love them. I love how rustic they look, but as always, I would love to hear your opinion on these. And for my last project, DIY number 5, I'm going to be using this Dollar Tree curtain rings. I'm going to take one, open it up, and I will hot glue it to get back together, but not as it was intended to be. I actually just hot glue it right back, not snapping it back in, if that makes sense. Then I'm opening another one, and I will just position it a little bit offset, and then I'm going to hot glue on the bottom where 2 connects, and I will do the same thing on the top. I will not snap it back together. I will just hot glue 2 pieces together. That way it gives me more opening to actually pile these on top of each other. Then I'm adding third one, and I'll do the same thing. Hot glue on the bottom where 3 meets, and then I will hot glue the top shut. And after I have all of them hot glued, I'm going to go on to the next step, which will be to get white, actually cotton jute twine from the Dollar Tree. Okay, this is how it looks like. Next, I'm taking this cotton twine from the Dollar Tree, and I took 1 strand, and I will start wrapping it in a crisscross motion on the top, or crisscross pattern on the top, where I hot glue all these together to kind of cover it up and make it more seamless. And I will secure it with a hot glue. After that, I'm taking another piece of this jute twine, and then I will thread it through this to kind of create a loop, and I will make a knot on top just to secure it. Then I have these kind of clear beads. I have no idea where I got them from. I think they were maybe from kids' bracelets or something like that. I saved them, and they match perfectly everything over here. And I add all 3 of those. I added a little, or actually another knot to keep them in place, and knot on top. And that's going to be it for this ornament. It is super, super easy to make. Of course, very, very inexpensive. And I think it's beautiful. Depending on your decor, you can paint it if you would like. I decided to leave it as it is. I think it's super cute. As always, I would like to hear what do you think about this one. I would like to hear which one was your favorite out of all of these. Thank you so much for being here. Give this video a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe if you're new. I would love to have you. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.